Hey guys, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to just show you some of the functions in the Microsoft Forms so that you can make all the questions that you'd like to make. We'll see, hopefully I can cover everything and I'll try not to be too confusing. Okay, so here we go. I've started a form here. This is a questionnaire about Wainumarra High School students and what they think of the new Lower Bus service that's just been changed. So obviously if I wanted to change my title, I can come up here, I can change anything here, I can even add photos if I want to into this part here. I find something, maybe let's go find here, and I want to find a picture of a bus. So I'm going to click on that, and I haven't specified it, so let's see if we can go Wellington, eh? It's from the old buses, but it's okay. So now I've added a picture in. I can also add a description. Now this might be something that you want to add in here to explain to your people exactly who people are going to fill in the survey, exactly what it is that's in your survey. You will have to learn how to put in a small blurb about what you're going to do with people's information, but we'll worry about that later on. That can go into this description here. Okay, so here we go. You can see that I've already got a question here, and this was a multi-choice question. So I can go through and I can add options here, anything that I want. I can delete options nice and easily. And if I like what my question and I just want to make another one very similar, I can just copy it, and there you go. Now I've got two questions exactly the same. Okay, delete it, and we're back to it. Okay, so these are my multi-choice questions. Now I might have some thing here where I want to add another question, or I might want. Let's do that. So let's add another question. So here are my different types. So I've got my multi-choice. So under multi-choice, I get a question very similar to what we were before. So I might say, what age group you in? So here we go, and then I might start writing my age groups. So things to be careful of that don't overlap. So this one's for teenagers. So I'm going to go from Wainumarra High School. So I'm going to have the low end of 12 to 14. Maybe some students are still 12, I doubt that very much, but at least I know I'm going to capture everyone that I want. I'm going to go from 15 to 17, and then I'm going to go 18 here. I'll put a little plus there just in case we've got some students who are older. So that captures everyone involved. Now we want to make sure that when you're adding these questions that you don't do overlaps. So just be careful of that, so you don't go, it's not 14 in both. That would be something you'd probably pick up in your desk check. So you might want to make that this was required because I want to know who's here. And if I wanted it to be like a choice, like a checklist, so they could pick as many as they like, not appropriate for this question, I could just click there and that changes the question. So anyone responding could just pick as many of them as they liked. So obviously you can't be more than one age group. But that shows you how to do that. So that's that question. Okay, so another question type that I might want to put in here is a rating. So I might ask about, so how much do you like the new bus service? Okay. So here I can do a few things. You can have it as stars now, and thank goodness for spell check. So I can have it as stars. You can change the number of stars, and that will be up to you what you like. Sometimes it's nice to go for 4 or 6, even numbers that don't allow someone to pick a middle one, because people often like to pick a middle one. Now when you're justifying how you're setting this up, you can do that. It's a nice little thing to do. So I chose that many options so that people couldn't pick a middle one. Something that you might want to do is start with stars, and to show that you're trying to make it professionally. After you've done a desk check, you might say you've made a change. You change it to numbers because it looks a little bit more professional. You can add other things to it as well by clicking down the bottom. So you can actually label this. So you can say 1 means not at all, and 4 means okay. So there are my options, and now I've got all that information there for the person who needs it. There is a subtitle, so if you feel like you wanted to explain your question further, like it needed more explanation, you can hit subtitle. In this case, I think we're going to leave it for now. Okay, another type of question that you might want to add into your set here is, in fact, a ranking question. So in a ranking question, you might ask, which of, so let's say this way, so we're going to order it. So we're going to order these options from most used to least used. Okay, and then this one here, so we'll say go to school, go to lower hut, other. Okay, so I haven't actually done a very good job here. I'm going to take that because I think that needs to go into a subtitle. So I'm going to put what I've just written there as my subtitle, and I'm going to write as my question, order the trips you most okay. Okay, so now I've got this, we've got a subtitle explaining my question a little bit more, and that will allow someone to order it. Okay, the last type of question that we want to do maybe and use is the Likert scale questions. So this allows you to write in each option, so you can write some statements down here, and it's a really good way to collect a lot of data. So you'd have your options along here that's saying maybe something like maybe my question might be use of the lower hut bus service. Okay, and then you might go once per week. So you can see what you write your options in here, 2 to 3 times per week, and then you might put your places that you go to. So maybe you write in here school, and then you might write in here something like that. So you just write in your options, and then the people can tick those across as they go. That's just a very simple explanation how you use a build a Likert scale question. So you might look for other things for that, but that's how you set one up. Just as an opposite thing, as another additional, you might say that you want males to answer your questions differently, or let's think of it this way. Let's have a question in here where I'm going to put in here a multi-choice question, and it's going, do you use the bus? Okay, so I'm going to just move this up to question 1 by clicking this arrow. Can you see the little numbers down here? They change. I'm just going to click that up to be my first question. I want to change the order, because what I want to do is actually have yes, no. Now I might have a sometimes. Let's forget about that just for right now. So the purpose of this question is to see if people who are even using the bus service, I don't want them to continue on with the rest of my survey if they don't use the bus service already, right? So this would definitely I'd want to keep for my this last change might be for my very final survey. And what I can do here is I can actually click up on a little button up here, and it says, see this one here that says branching, and in that branching I'm going to say, if you click yes, go to the next question. Sweet. And if you click no, see, I can say I can get them to go to any question I want, but I'm going to say end the form in this case. So a person filling this in would, if they answered yes, they do use the bus, well then they go on to the question, to the rest of the survey. but if they don't, then they don't have to fill it in, and you're all done. As I say, you might want to leave that to your final take and explain why you're putting that in, but that's just one of the extra functions. Cool, so I am going to leave that there. I hope that was helpful. I'll catch you later.